So, keeping it in the medical realm, the other bullshit that he was touting during the State of the Union, bringing Medicare drug prices down. Medicare gets to negotiate drug prices, and that's a good thing. That's what my administration did. That's what we did out here. Bipartisan effort, not whatever the fuck he said. Uh, People, don't let him snow you. He is bullshitting you. Medicare does not have the ability to negotiate drug prices. What his bill did was give Medicare the ability to negotiate the price of about 10 drugs. 10 drugs, not drugs, just 10, specifically 10 they picked out, right? So,
Is insulin one of those drugs?
insulin is one of those drugs, but I'll get into insulin. I'll break that shit down a little bit in a second. So, Medicare is going to negotiate drug prices for 10 drugs, insulin being one of them. That's the first one that they got actually negotiated, and then it went into effect at the top of the year, 2023. The other 10, I can't remember right now off the top of my head at all. They just 10 drugs, though. Great for that. The people who have those ailments and need those particular drugs, it's a benefit for you. Now, let's start to peel this back. It's just 10 fucking drugs. You know how many drugs is on the fucking market? A shit ton.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to negotiate for 10 of them. 1. 2. They're only going to negotiate for people that are Medicare eligible. That's not all of you all. That's not the price of the drug that you're going to pay unless you're above a certain age. Now, real quick, they are actively trying to increase the age in which you are able to retire, thereby pushing up the age in which you are able to access Medicare. So the thing he's touting will increasingly serve less people year after year after year. Is that a benefit for the American people? Or just the American people who are currently Medicare eligible? That is a subset. It's a very, 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 very small subset of the population. I don't know how many varies I use and how many actually I should have used, but is what it is. That's what he's touting. I'm going to free up money and cap insulin prices at $35 for insulin users, because insulin costs $10 to $13 to produce. So I'm only going to allow them to triple the price for you. That's what I'll do. Because the guy who invented it, as he touts, the guy who invented it under the what's it called when you do it for other people? The auspices.
Auspices, nigga. Auspices, nigga.
Auspices.
AU spices.
AU spices. Auspices of helping people. That's why he didn't patent it and try to charge money. It was working out some money for it. Whatever it costs is what it should cost, so we can help the most amount of people. Drug companies took that shit, said, fuck that. $300. Which it cost me $13 to do. At your estimate. But I think that the number was way, way less than 13. I think it was a fraction of that. I think it was like $2 or $3 that insulin actually cost. Don't hold me to that, because I might be like making up shit because I've been drinking. But I think that's the actual real cost of it. That 13 inflationary dollar that he got to, whatever, to make it sound better. But even in that, in your holding their feet to the fire, you're going to only allow them to triple their profit. Yay! Thank you. That's so in line with the spirit of the motherfucker who created that shit. But 10 drugs. 10 drugs that they don't even start to scratch the surface of until 25 or 26. Doesn't matter. He's out of office. 2025, let's just say they're able to do that. Maybe. Unless the next motherfucker that comes in the office says, fuck that shit. No. It could definitely happen. But it's indicative of the bullshit that they're doing and presenting it on. Hey, look, what we was talking about earlier, motherfuckers giving you shit on garbage can lids. They're giving you garbage on fine china. That's what they're doing. That's what this president is touting as his accomplishment. He's bragging about this. And we're supposed to be happy. He's mastered the art of saying that he's doing something while not actually having to do anything that affects real change towards the problem he's addressing.
Hey,
before I get out, before I get off my soapbox, the infrastructure bill that he keeps touting, and the energy, cool. So the Green New Deal shit he's touting, that bill that he's holding up, it gives there's carve outs in it for the fossil fuel industry to continue to fuck us in the tradition that they've been fucking us for years to come, while we dedicate a set aside amount of funds to green new energy. But they underfunded it so much so that there will not be any technological advances in green energy that will make green energy viable in our foreseeable future. So if any of my Seinfeld fans are out here, there's an episode when Elaine went to the doctor and she had an altercation with the doctor and it caused her some undue arrest. And she went and found a new doctor, and that doctor said, you know what, I'll take this out of your file. And he took his pencil and he started to erase. But she had seen the file and she knew that it was actually written in pen. And she called him out and said, but no, you fake erased. And our government is fake erasing shit in front of our face every day. And we act like, it's cool. You're doing your best you can.
I find it crazy that this nigga, that the same people that tout this nigga and got him in the office to run this country, the same motherfuckers that told Bernie Sanders he was too old to run this motherfucking city. And that nigga was 5 years older than that nigga was when the day they elected his ass. Him and Bernie Sanders is a year apart, though they don't think this nigga's too. He's the oldest president ever.
Ever?
Ever.
Ever is a mighty long time.
And they don't think he was too old to run this country, but Bernie Sanders was too old to run this motherfucking city.
Oh, now I was one of the motherfuckers that felt like Bernie was too old. I also felt like Joe Biden was too fucking old.
That nigga was 78 when they rolled him in this motherfucking office, nigga. 70. 78. Bernie was 73 when they was calling that nigga too old.
Yeah, I definitely felt like Bernie was too old. I felt like Joe Biden is too old. I felt like there don't need to be age minimums. There need to be age limits on being president. Like, they say you can't run until you're 45. You shouldn't be able to run after you're 65 because honestly, you might not make it out this motherfucker. And I feel like politics have done that shit completely backwards for a long ass time. Like, there shouldn't be age minimums. There should be age maximums. Like,
see, I got a difference of opinion about that one. It's like leaving another uh universe. They the motherfuckers that know who, like the shit that we're dealing with now is a consequence of the shit he was doing in '92. So who better than to write this motherfucker than the motherfucker who know exactly how we got here, and he know exactly what he was doing at the time or not doing thereof or should. So though, like, he may have aged the fuck out for the position, he ain't aged out for the bullshit that he got in effect right now. And he might know he might know the motherfuckers who still in play. Like, yeah, man, hey, 98, 99, I need to call that back in right now. In theory, it don't appear to be working that way, but that's why I'm not against it in theory.
It's a good theory, but like also more than likely the motherfuckers that are that age are the motherfuckers that got us into the shit.
That's what
So
I just said. Motherfucker that got us into this shit is the best equipped motherfucker to get us out of this shit. It's like the daily effect, nigga. As soon as that nigga left office, you needed some of them old handshake motherfuckers that shook the hands to get the city fucked up to unshake some of the hands. You seen that when that nigga left, what no snow getting plowed for them first 2 years. Cause all them handshake deals that he had instituted 30 years prior was unshook at that point. You need some of them old cockbiters and shit up to actually unfuck the shit if they willing to.
yeah, but see, that's the thing. They gotta be willing to.